The Rose and Brass Knuckles Podcast.
Welcome to episode 34 of the Rose and Brass Knuckles Podcast. I'm your boy Zachary Davis.
All right, this will keep it Jabala, man. Good to see you this week, bro.
Good to see you, man. Back for another week. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Just same grind, man. Just putting everything together down here in Charlietown. Just doing what we do.
Yeah. It's good, man. That's good, man. We had a little inclement weather up here in Atlanta this week. You know, some severe rain and tornadoes type stuff going on. So, you know, but hopefully everybody's safe. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had the same thing down here yesterday. You know, it was a tornado watch and everything. You know, down here on the water, like tornadoes sound real down here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Nah, yeah, that's real. So this week we back with an episode. You know, this is one we got hit up about, and you know, just different conversations we heard from different gentlemen and things like that, and you know, probably ruffle little feathers, but hey, we here. That's what we here to do, to keep it real. You know what I mean? To give you the real. So this week's title is called "A Sexless Marriage." That's real.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Hey, that's gonna hit some folks, and yeah.
And I mean, so I hear from men, of course, because, you know, I'm around more men about, you know, them being in, you know, pretty secure either long-term relationships or marriages. We should have put long relationships on there as well, because it can kind of go both ways. I guess shacking up, they call it. You know what I mean? But, you know, a lot of times I think women don't really understand that, you know, men have they understand we have needs, but they think like, I understand the rat race of life and things like that. They kind of forget about that affection sometimes they show a man. And I think it could go to, you know, the opposite way. Sometimes, men, we out here in the street chasing the bag, chasing money, and you neglecting your woman's needs. Like, it just, you know, life can get in the way of, you know, really pleasing your partner at times.
Yeah. And it's definitely one of those things where it's such a slippery slope, because when we look at so many different things can happen in that space, you know, and you look at bills, children, work. Yeah. So a certain partner may be messed up at some point in time, so now that other partner is not as sexually active as they would normally be. You know, so you got all these parts and pieces, so it's not like a one size fits all. You know, but as we touch on it, I think it's important to look at all the aspects. So if you're a dude who messed up, or if you're a sister who messed up, your husband or wife may not be feeling you like that while y'all still trying to figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? And that's challenging, man. Yeah.
And I just hear it a lot. You know, again, we talk to more men, of course, because we men. I just hear a lot of times, you know, when these guys do mess up, it was something going on in the home, and I don't know if they expressed it right. I think a lot of times as men, we don't even know how to express that. Our woman, you know, she not being as affectionate or sexual, and we don't even know how to approach her in that manner, because we feel like we might come off offensive, or, you know, even if we say that, she automatically goes, oh, what, you gonna go out in the streets? Or, you know what I'm saying? So I think guys get pushed out to the streets and things like that, and not saying that, you know, you got to be a certain kind of guy that if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Everybody can't be pushed out there like that. But, you know, if you're not getting taken care of at home, you're going to get taken care of, you know, by somebody else. You know what I mean? And, you know, and I'm more than sure the same thing goes on for women, because it's a lot easier for a woman. You know what I mean?
Right. And I definitely think, like, when we simplify from that standpoint and say, let's say if you're a dude who's taking care of what you're supposed to be taking care of, and your woman may not be, your wife may not be paying attention to those physical needs, because, of course, people can get comfortable. And then when you get comfortable, you go from meeting this woman, getting it 2-3 times a week, to then once y'all make it official, you might get it once a week, then once a month, and then once every 2 months. Before you know, you looked up, you know, it's like once every 3 months. And it's just like, what women don't understand is that men don't have to like the other woman to sleep with the other woman, you know? And it's just, and I don't want to oversimplify it, you know, because there's so many parts and pieces happening in everybody's households. But it's definitely one of them things where, you know, we sexual creatures, so we gotta deal with that, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah. And you know, and again, it goes back to, you know, communication. You know what I mean? I think that keeps a lot of the problems, you know, from arising and things like that. Like, if it's been a couple of months, man, you know, you might want to initiate that. Now, it's one thing if you not initiating it too. Like if you waiting on her always to initiate it, and you know what I'm saying. But if you know you doing everything you can, and sometimes fellas, sometimes it's gonna take a little romancing and dancing. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? You just can't always roll over and try to jump in there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So sometimes it may take a little what they call oil in the gears. You know what I'm saying? To get things moving. So I mean, but you have to be willing to do those things before you just run out in the streets and say, oh, my marriage ain't working, my woman don't want to have sex with me, and you haven't, one, expressed anything, two, haven't put in the effort, to try to, if it is a busy household, because, I understand that, if it's a busy household, y'all got 2-3 kids, she's working, you working, y'all come home, the hours may not even be lined up, and, things like that. You got to make time for that. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just go out and be like, oh, well, it ain't working and, doing that, And I hear that as well from fellas. They don't do what they supposed to do, but then use that as excuse to, run out in the streets and you dead wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? And then try to put it on the lady like she wasn't doing nothing, but, you never even made an effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's definitely one of those things where it's just like, I think it's immature to not try and resolve it. Because like you said, you got to make an effort. It can't be one of those things where, and I'd say this, it is difficult in pockets, right? Because just like you done worked all day, you done made dinner at the end of the day, and this, that, and the third, and then you got to have muster up this energy like a porn star on the back end of the night where you just might be tired. A lot of times you might get to bed and you just like, man, look, I want it, but I'm just tired because I got to press reset again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And it's that part of finding different ways to be intimate. You know what I'm saying? Until you can get to the finish line. You gotta think of different strategies. While at the same time, I think it's important to be realistic about what everybody's dealing with as they maneuver through this life, because it is hectic.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, you have to be realistic with it, and women, we can't take it off of you. At the same time, we need you guys to initiate things sometime and get it cracking. You can't always be waiting on him and, then, well, I didn't know you wanted it and, all this stuff. You know what he want. Like, ladies, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Most men, we ready to go every day. So it's not no day. I mean, and as tired as we are, if you come at us the right way, something going to jump off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And definitely,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know a man don't like to be woke up out of sleep.
Yeah, and definitely that part of when you look at, you said something, come at us the right way. If your man like a hot shower, like his woman have a hot shower, have some lotion or baby oil on, some smell goods on, those are some basic things you can do to set the mood. Don't just be out all day and then jump into bed. If that's what he likes, when you can resolve that, that's simple. That's a simple thing to initiate it. Because he going to see you wash it off. He going to see you put the baby oil on, the lotion on, whatever that is. He knows that's what's about to go down. But when you do the total opposite, then, if that's the kind of dude, some dudes will take it as is, you know what I'm saying? But some dudes like that. So if you know what they like, go ahead and, go ahead and get a brother what he like. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that deep.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. And as we say, both you guys, especially in the marriage, have to make time for each other and have to make time for the situation to occur. You know what I'm saying? Like, all us got a life and life gets in the way of everything, but you can't put the kids in front of what you got going on. You can't put, the job. You can't put this. You can't put that. Of course, everybody got different moods and things like that and may not be in the mood at that certain time. But, you still got to kind of work together and figure each other out. And then that's one of the, the main bases of marriage, of a happy marriage is, is a happy bedroom life. So if you guys don't get that straight early, you know what I mean? It's going to be a problem. And then, just like men, sometimes we don't do the same things we did before the marriage. Ladies, sometimes y'all get to stepping back and don't do the same thing y'all do once y'all get married. Now, you know what I'm saying? You done caught us, you know what I'm saying? He think he getting one thing and he done got something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, catching us and keeping us are two different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is a real thing where it's important to understand how base, like if we're talking about men or just humans in general, but definitely with men, how base we are in that. Like catching us and keeping us are two different things. So if you were doing certain things to get us, don't stop doing those things and then expect for us to be cool. Because I say it all the time. Somebody else will walk your dog. And that's not putting a woman in a position to say, oh, well, you just going to cheat. No, it's just like you can't tie a dog to a tree and then expect for the dog to be cool. You know, that's just irresponsible. And one thing
somebody gonna pick him up. Somebody gonna pick him, start petting him.
More than anything, I live in a dog community now where everybody got dogs, right? And I can't stand an irresponsible dog owner. Like if you got a dog, put your dog on a leash. I don't care if you're just going outside to let him pee or let her pee or use it. Put them on a leash because you don't know what's outside. You know, if it's a squirrel, another dog, or this, that, and the third. And dogs are fast. They can take off and be gone. You know, so do what you need to do as a dog owner and manage your dog effectively. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And that, you know, just like he said, managing your dog. You know what I mean? That's just like he was saying about the baby oil and the lotion and putting that on. We train to get a reward at the end. My dog gonna do certain things if I tell him to do because he think he gonna get a treat at the end. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You'll get a lot more done on a honey-do list.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
He wake up whistling Saturday morning.
Right. Because he knows what's at the end of it. But if you
he know what's coming. Yeah. He know what's coming.
Yeah, and that's if you know that, because Zach, you said that a million times. Men are basic creatures. If you know that, and you're doing the opposite, come on now, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like what are you doing?
Yeah, and you know it's it's definitely a strong foundation you got to build when it comes to that sex life, man. I'll definitely say that. And if you guys don't have that, and you know, again, if it's early and there's problems, I don't know how long y'all gonna make it, because somebody gonna creep out the door. You know what I mean, and looking for something else. So you know it's and like you said, you tie your man to a tree, your dog to a tree. Somebody gonna come along playing with him. So it's
Hey, so let me ask you this. So, in that space, what do you think about open marriages or open relationships in regards to that sexual door?
For me, it wouldn't be for me personally, but I mean, I don't like the idea of it. But I just think, one, it's too many areas for drama. You know what I mean? I like a nice, smooth, peaceful life. Like I eat the same thing, go the same place. I like the same stuff. You know what I mean? You're not gonna really change me. I'm a simple man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say that. So I think it just opens up the door for just possible drama, man, and just unnecessary drama. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just don't like to be bothered, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seemed like it could bring up a lot, and then somebody gonna feel some type of way. I don't want nobody with my woman. I'm sure she don't want nobody with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's just, that's anybody. You shouldn't be with that person. If you can, I guess some people have them, fetishes or whatever you call them, where they like to, be swinging and doing all that other stuff and things like that. Especially, it's rampant down here. They say, it's rampant down here in Atlanta. So, watch yourself. You meet a couple down here, they might not be trying to buy you a drink at the bar, man. You have to watch them, man. But, I think it's, to each its own. But, I mean, I just think you're asking for trouble, man. I think you're asking for trouble in my eyes. That I've heard of people having it, and I've heard of relationships not last that, people who kind of had, something that was a little open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And for me, it's one of those things where it's like I get the concept and I get the theory. But like you said, there's way too many doors that can be opened in an open relationship. It's way too many doors, and nothing ever goes the way you think it's going to go. Because I know a couple of dudes who've gone down that road, and they say, okay, yeah, me and my old lady got an open relationship, and then next thing you know, she with the other woman, or he with the other woman, or you know what I'm saying, like she with him. Oh, and that open relationship or threesome or what have you can be it can be this whole other thing where you say, okay, it sounds good because it's like me and two women. But what happens if it's me and another dude and my wife? And then you got to process that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole bunch of parts and pieces with, like you said, in Atlanta, man, shit, man. And I ain't gonna say only Atlanta, but Atlanta,
no, I won't say that, but I can tell you about what I know.
Yeah, I can tell you what I know. You know, like,
I
man,
can tell you what I heard, man. You know, so it's just, you know, I mean, it's I mean, I guess, you know, I could see some people doing it, you know what I mean? And, you know, we hear about it with, you know, just like we can talk about Will and Jada and all them. We done heard them stories and things like that. You know, whether they do it or not, that's none of my business. I don't know if it's true or not, but you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think it brings along conflict, like we see in that type of situation, and disrespect, and, you know, like because you really feeling some type of way. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you feeling some type of way, but you can't express it because you didn't agree to this. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't agree to certain things, and then now when it hits you, like, oh, and then and I'm sure probably, you know, but I ain't gonna use him. When it's a man, I'm sure probably you having your fun. Okay, we got an open one. I can give me a couple of ladies. When that man come through there, when that man come through there and you feel like he done knocked your wife back out, you feel me?
And you watching that. You know what I'm saying?
You watching that going down, and you feel what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, that's why, and you know, that's why I think it's hard for people to imagine, because like when somebody cheat on you, or you could think about somebody you with sleeping with somebody else, you know what they doing. Like, you can see that in your mind. So. So it's like, you know, I mean, you know, again, to each his own. I know it's people out here who into that, but I think it definitely, you know, I always thought it was like just a weird dynamic, like, because I feel like you really don't want what this person got. You with them, but y'all might well just be friends, because y'all really don't want what each other got. Y'all just, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, maybe made a business arrangement, like, hey, we're going to get married, have these kids, but we're going to do what we do, and we're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, also, a lot of men, I hear they go out and then they create a sexless marriage because they run around here having sex with everything else.
Oh, say that again. Say that, you know.
Feel me? Y'all out here and having sexless marriages, or make your wife feel like you're not attracted to her, but you just out here chasing something else. I mean, and that's anything in life. The first time you tasted a Big Mac, it was delicious. You know, over the years, it don't got the same bite it used to have. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? This what you signed. You went to McDonald's, so that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? You got to let it fulfill you. And then sometimes, you know, you got to spice it up. Dip it in some ketchup or something. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back. You know what I'm saying? You know, take the middle bread out of something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's real. It's like, I think when you look at the sexual security and also the emotional security, you know what I'm saying, and the life security of saying, this is my person and I'm her person. There's a lot of weight that comes with that, and I don't mean negative weight. I'm just saying there's a lot of weight that comes with that, because a lot of times we can be so short-sighted and say, okay, I'm only focused on banging right now. At some point in time, your lobster might turn into a little shrimp, you know, and if you don't have the emotional equity built up in that relationship or that marriage, you out in the streets at 40, 50, 60 years old, sitting here scouting, looking. You know, and it's just like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it ain't a good look always. You know what I'm saying? You looking like a clown. You feel me? I done been a young. Look at this old ass in here. What the hell is he doing in here? You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got to leave with your wallet and you know, and everything else, and you know what I mean. And you're popping all these pills, man, and to keep it going. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a hard place.
This ain't be had a heart attack on top of a lady or something. You know?
Man, that's a hard place to be.
Yeah. So. Man, just, you know, as we said, as we wrap that up, man, communicate with your partner, man. Let them know, hey, you know, I need it a little bit more. I need it like this or something. And keep your home happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we said them streets ain't, everything in them streets ain't good, man. It look good out there, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't good. It ain't no better than what you got at home. You better stay home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, them streets expensive, man, in more ways than one.
Oh, yeah. More ways than one, like he said. So we're going to slide off into this altar call organist. Go ahead and bring us in. All right. So this is one, that we got sent. NFL player Channing Crowder. He's on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and I think was it Fred? I forget what his Fred's last name is. I'm sorry, he was a running back for the Jaguars. He was 5, but I can't think his name right now. But anyway, so they were talking about Sierra and Russell Wilson, and basically Channing was saying like Sierra wouldn't be with Russell if it wasn't for the money. You know, he basically kind of like a square. You know what I'm saying? And you don't go from. I understood what he's saying, but everybody was taking it wrong. He was basically just saying like it's hard for me to imagine a woman go from a Future to Russell Wilson, like, you know what I'm saying? Just I mean, kind of, you know, quote unquote. I guess he means like a more of a cool and hip person to, you know, somebody that, you know. Before she really got with him, he wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Or didn't present himself as that. You know what I mean?
And I think with that, man, it's just like anybody of any kind of logical, with any logic to them, don't want to keep getting dogged out. Because you might say Future, but then you say Bow Wow. Yeah. Then you say whoever the other entertainer, Usher, or whoever the entertainer she's been with. So by the time the sister comes up on a Russell Wilson, who may be a square, you know what I'm saying? He might be. Yeah. You know, I've seen some pictures of him dressed beforehand when he was married to the white girl, and he looked like, you know, he had
the Tommy Bahama on with the dad shoes.
It's a two-part to what I want to say. One part is that it ain't really up to these cats to speak on where she would be and wouldn't be. And I understand content, but it's not up to them to say where she would be and wouldn't be. Mind your business and be where you're supposed to be. That's the first part. Second part is, of course women want to be financially stable. You know, like, of course. That makes sense. Yeah. And if she finds a dude who treats her better than Future with his 13 baby mamas, are we going to clown her for not wanting to be baby mama number 14?
Yeah. No, and I think it gets into what we talk about in the 4 quarters of the game. If, you know, you guys can go back and listen to that episode. That's one of the early episodes where we break down, you know, it's kind of a 4 age range that we call quarters, you know, from, you know, 18 and, you know, what we say 18 to 30, then 30 on up and, you know, so on. I think that she just smartened up like, hey, I bumped my head 5 times and maybe I don't need to bump my head again. I mean, if that was my daughter, that's what I would be telling her. Like, well, you didn't kept running behind these little, you know, these rappers and these street guys, and they, you know, they ain't dropped one off in you and disappeared, or you know, they caught them cheating and things like that. Maybe that ain't the type of man you need to look for. And I think that happens often. You know, we seen it. I think, you know, like, you know, Serena, I felt like she kind of went that way. You know, not that the white dude is, you know, anything, but I mean, he like a businessman. He's not a, you know, a Common or, you know, Drake. I think Drake was trying to talk to her or something like that for a little while. Like, he's a grounded man on his business, on his grind, on his family. You know what I'm saying? As far as somebody that's not in the limelight all the time and not surrounding themselves by women and, you know, temptation all the time. Then, you know, we see the same thing with, like, Eve. Like, she kind of did the same thing, you know, got out. She, you know, the dude, I think he runs, like, the gumball rally, that car thing or something. But I don't know. I think he does something else as well. But still, she kind of left that alone. She was with Stevie J and, you know, that type of thing. Like, you know, once you keep making the mistakes, and, you know, we see men do it, too. You know, I know dudes that was running behind strippers and things like that. And then when they got married, now they got, you know, a nice woman. She, you know, she work at the school, or she a nurse, or, you know, she, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know, doctor, lawyer, what have you. They get a grounded woman because they don't want to keep chasing behind that because they know what that come with.
Right. And there ain't nothing wrong with leveling yourself up, and not just saying financially, physically, what have you, but as far as what you need in your life. You know, it's and you know what I was thinking about connected to this is that earlier today when I was kind of making some notes about our podcast and what's going on, it's like, this is a grown man podcast. This ain't a little boy, you know, the gossip, the girly podcast. You know, so when you look at that standpoint and you say we live in a space where the little boy, the little girl, the chicken head podcast and the chicken head content gets all the views. That sister got tired of the chicken head content. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with her saying, you know what? I had a baby by a dude that got 36 baby mamas. Do we honestly want to fault her for that? And saying, man, I had enough of that. I don't blame her. I don't, man.
Yeah, no.
I don't blame her.
The little thing, I was gone. As soon as I got my money, I was gone. Yeah. And so as we talk about, husband and wives, so this was, somebody sent this to us. This was in I think it was an Essence magazine online, but it was like the husband was calling a newlywed couple. The husband, it's interracial. The husband was calling her the N-word during sex and using racial slurs. I'm hard pressed to, this is, as we talk about a sexless marriage, hopefully y'all kind of discuss his fetishes and things like that beforehand, but, I don't even, sister, I don't know what you done signed up for, you know what I mean? It ain't time to be complaining now.
Like, because you in it, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where by the time he reveals that part of his reality to you, that's who he is in real time. So don't sit there and think, well, we're going to talk it through. No, that's really who he is. Trust that. So what you got to do is either make peace with the fact that you his brown sugar slave plantation piece of rump roast, or you got to get gone. But don't sit there and think you're going to
call my bed wench.
His bed wench. Make peace with that, because either you that, or you're going to have to bounce. So don't sit there and cry and complain. I thought it was going to be different. Nah, man.
And I just don't even know how you take that kind of abuse. Who will sit there and, obviously she wrote in, she must not like it and must not get turned on by it. So it's almost really like she's being raped. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally during the act. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody saying something like that to you, this shouldn't even be nothing you writing about, because you should be on the way out the door the first time. If you clear, and I don't even know if it happened one time. How do y'all even move past that? Because that's what he's thinking in his mind the next time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's his day to day. So if his day to day is sitting there saying, "Hey, this is my bad wench, this is my," so those mechanics within his head, who's his main piece? If his wife is his bed wench, then who's his main piece out in the world? Because don't fool yourself. He got a main piece somewhere that looks just like him. So, man, either make peace with it or bounce.
Yeah. That one's crazy. And so this is another one. Albert Pujols, the baseball player, now he's back with the St. Louis Cardinals. He files for divorce from his wife, but just days after she had brain surgery. I couldn't really find nothing that seemed like they had been through that much, like it was a bunch leading up to this and they were separated and all that. He was just like, I hate it's a bad time, but I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, his statement. You know what I mean? It's all, I know it's a bad time. He was talking about baseball more. It's almost opening day, and I know she just had a little surgery, got some health issues, but I can't take it no more.
And that's, we don't have enough context. Because we don't know. She may have been terrible to the dude, and then this happened, and now you need him to be a stand-up dude, and he's saying, "Hey, I ain't standing up with you. I'm out. I'm gonna pay you."
And it might be, hey, you didn't, and let's be honest. He may have seen she was ill because she had a brain tumor. They took out the tumor. He was there. They were like, "Is she gonna make a full recovery?" Oh yeah, she's straight. You understand what I'm saying? He may have he held it down through the illness. We didn't got, quote unquote, got rid of it. So he made it through the sickness and brought it back to health. You know what I'm saying? She made it through the surgery. You know what I mean? It's not funny, but it's just you can't fault nobody when they feel like it's their time to go. And you know what I'm saying? It's time for him to go out that door for whatever reason. It may be just all on him. He just, hey, I got to live my life. We what they say, we only here for a short time, a good time, not a long time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make the most of it. You got to make the most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he just may be ready to go. Hopefully, I wish her, his ex-wife, I guess now, a speedy recovery. But, if it was time for him to go, it was time for him to go. So you guys know we record during a little bit early in the week, so everybody still was hitting us about the fallout from the Will Smith situation, the whole fallout, and where our mind was now with the situation. So I think they kind of coming down hard on him, but I expected that him as a black man in Hollywood, they you don't get but one chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it's everybody has that period of the ghost or the witch hunt. It's just like you always Hollywood needs a witch hunt. And unfortunately for Will, like I'm not in his bedroom, I'm not in his marriage, but he set up, and when I say he, I mean as a husband and a father. He set the tone for all of this mess that he's in right now. He set that tone. Because if Jada was so out of pocket, it's up to the husband, the father of his household, to protect his household and get her gone. That's how I honestly feel. Like, if she was so out of pocket during that process, it's my job to either get you right or get you gone. And if I don't get you right, then I'm going to have to eat that sandwich.
Yeah.
And roll with it.
No. And that, that's real. And then, I just didn't even like, I didn't like it for him. I didn't like what he did going up there, putting his hands on Chris Rock. But then I don't like Jada. Now she coming out saying, she didn't need to be protected, and she don't like that he went up there. Like, you can say that at home. Like, again, here you are in the public eye. I mean, you. I hate to use the word emasculated because that's what everybody's saying, but that's what it is. You basically checking his manhood again. He didn't stepped up and did something, and you like, he didn't even have to do that. He don't know what he doing. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's something for you to say at home. Like, well, you should have grabbed when he was getting ready to go up there. You knew something was going down. You were supposed to grab him, like we said last week. You didn't grab him. You let something go down, and then now still again. You ain't saying enough, but that word is coming out of the camp. You know what I mean? Hopefully she didn't say that. I don't know what that quote came from, but if she did say it, you know what I mean? That's just another slap in the face. And, all these things combined is what caused the situation, was these repeated and public embarrassments.
On and on. So it's a mess. It is. And I say it's a mess because they made their mess public. That's what it is. It's a mess. And I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again this week. The best way to protect your husband or your wife is to not put them in a position where they need to be protected. That's the best way. Right there. Simply not put them in a position where they have to be defended. So by the time she's doing what she's doing, he's doing what he's doing, now the fruit is out here for everybody to snack on.
Yeah. And they're gonna definitely pick it up. I mean, you created, like you said, you created this bed, you got to lay in it. You wanted to be this huge star and be the biggest star in Hollywood and things like that, and it's a lot that come along with that. And I feel bad for him because I know he cares what the public thinks, because for anybody to be like, I was wearing a mask and I didn't curse all these years and did all this to be the perfect person so I could be the perfect Hollywood star. You care what the masses think about you. You understand what I'm saying? That's a strong part of who you are. And when you're doing that, it's when things like this keep knocking you down and that the same people you want to love you are laughing at you. I mean, that's why we see people lash out. Like, me and Okiba joke, he took everybody out in the house. But, that's when we see crazy things like that happen, because people just snap. They can't take it no more. Like, you basically going against everything I tried to, create.
Right. And that's one of those things where, domestic violence is not a good thing at all. Yeah. But it's definitely one of those things where I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, all the writings. And Z and I was talking about, I said, the writing's on the wall, around like a OJ 2.0. And I'm not wishing that on anybody. And let me make that clear. Yeah. I'm not wishing that on anybody. But unfortunately, we see all the flashing signs and we ignore them. And we assume that, oh, no, that would never happen. Man, do you know how many people just snap because they can't take it anymore? And then next thing you know is off into some mess. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but there are a lot of signs on the wall that's just like, Lord have mercy, man. It's
Yeah,
just
don't
leave.
ignore those signs. Yeah, don't ignore those signs and get caught up into that. Yeah, no, that's definitely the real. That's definitely the real. So we thank you guys for coming back for another week with us.
Glad to be here, bro.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here, man. So we here each and every Sunday. Like you said, the handles. You know where to follow us at. You know what I mean, and get with us. I stumbled through it last week, but we're gonna give it to you at R&BK Gang on IG, www.rnbkgang.com, and the Rose and Brass Knuckles podcast. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
On Facebook. You know what I mean? And you can tune in, get us everywhere. If you want to see us, if you just listening, man, hop on YouTube. We on YouTube. Give them that YouTube where we at.
Shit, you go to Noble Soul. You put me on the spot.
Yeah, you go on the side. He tried to. He didn't cut it out last week when I was missing. No, I'm just
I know. We had the Noble Soul Art Group, but if you look up on YouTube, Roses and Brass Knuckles podcast, I believe it's RNBK Gang. You'll find us. But you can get it from the website, so you can get there.
Yeah. Look us up. We'll throw that in next week. You know what I'm saying? I'll have another one I got to stumble through, but we'll get it together. You know what I mean? And we thank each and every listen. And I want to big up. I want to big up our city, man. State, Florida, man. We get a lot of listens from Florida, man. Florida, one of our biggest states. I don't know who down there pushing it, but we get listens from all over, man. I see people from Czech Republic listening and all kind of stuff. So, man, we really enjoy everybody, tuning in and y'all family, man. And we thank you guys for letting us be in your ear. Yeah.
My bad. This happening in real time, yo.
Yeah, this happening in real time. He had to step off for a second. I was just telling him, man, thank you for all the listens. We get a lot of listens from, we with Florida, man. We get a lot of people out of Florida that tune in and, Florida numbers, you know what I mean? It pulls it. I don't know what they listening on. And then, I was telling we got people all around the world, Czech Republic, all over the place, listening, man. So we thank each and every listener and, y'all family to us, you know what I mean?
Real.
Yeah. And so, as always, if the things we say made you feel some type of way, and that was a good word you need to hear today, it's the Rose and Brass Knuckles podcast. We'll see you next week.
All right, pass that collection plate, y'all.
All right, now.